Artists are weird said by an artist because, well, we are. And after I thought about it a bit more, I've come to a conclusion that if everything I focus on and think about daily would be seen by a non artist, I'd probably seem high. Hear me out. I was sitting in a class waiting for the teacher, and this was one of the slower days. It was really boring. I wasn't in a horrible mood, but I was very tired. It was the last period. I just wanted to go home. And I was looking outside the window because sun decided to show up after a while. And we have these large rectangular windows with orange drapes. The drapes were put up, covering maybe 1/3 of the window. And then I realized the light going through the drapes was casting this orangey shadow on the wall next to the window. The wall is this white, maybe like a light beige kind of color, and since the drapes were put up, the sky was casting this bluish tone on the wall under the orange one. And then on the window there was this green watering can. The light bouncing off of the watering can was casting this greenish bounce light on the wall. And honestly, I almost shed a tear. Like, I was instantly energized. It basically made my whole day. I was right then and there, I was in a good mood. And I'm pretty sure that happens when you're high. And I don't take drugs. I'm just an artist. Or like when you're doing a portrait, you're basically looking at somebody's face and every single detail of their face for hours. Or maybe you're doing a study on noses. So you're looking at people's noses for hours so that you can store that information in your mental gallery. Or better yet, imagine looking at an inanimate object for such a long time, or just the fact that people who've been lifelong artists, these basically art gods, these people were looking at these things for thousands of hours. Picture sitting in a cafe thinking about how a curvature of a chair is interesting, how it's constructed, and how you would draw it from different angles. Which of course means we stare. We stare at people, windows with pretty light scenarios, the folds on your clothing, analyzing how you sit down, how you're holding your phone, maybe how you and the background behind you have great contrast, how your blue eyes look good with that orange lamp over there, just how the window looked. This is something we constantly observe and think about, and it's not in a judging way. It's more just like us learning or catching a minor habit you do or a movement with your hands that is just so interesting to us. Also, we see to you random colors in objects that don't even have that color, which actually was a bit of a mindfuck to realize others don't understand or don't see the colors I do, and that the object I'm looking at for me indeed has purple. Bethany, I know that black of flats is beige, but I would definitely, even confidently, use purple in that shadow if I was painting it. okay? And I'm not even talking about how we see clear pictures in, for example, a stain, or it's normal for us to look at naked people. So I went on the internet and I visited a few sites to find some things that all artists do that are kind of weird. Anyway, there was a lot of biting your lips. There's also this one person who is jutting their jaw, and I'm so sorry for this because they are in a lot of pain from that. I'm so sorry to this person. Hope they get better. Also, like making a palette from your hand. I think this is universal for all artists. I think every single artist has done this before. There was a lot of making random faces, or this is actually pretty common for animators. When animating, they do tend to do the expression they are animating. There was, of course, the staring that I already mentioned, random scene ideas, which basically they happen anywhere at any time, and I'm sure this isn't just an artist thing. Everyone gets creative ideas, and it basically happened to me today. It happened to me in a bus, but mostly it happens to me while falling asleep. I just get a random idea and I get up and scribble it on a piece of paper in the dark. So I usually have a few of those lying around. I'm actually looking at one. I'm making a direct eye contact with one scribble right now. So that's a thing that we do. But like one thing that got me really excited to talk about it was making random sounds. And I think this is again a thing that every single artist does. For example, something goes bad with the piece you're making, so you just like start randomly screaming and you're just basically panicking, and everyone else in the room is just like, "Wait, are you okay? Are you dying? What is happening?" This happens to me quite often, actually. I go to an art school, so while we're painting something in class, people tend to sometimes randomly start screaming or just like randomly start panicking and just start sweating. And you're just like, "Are you fine?" And they're like, "Yeah, but this fucking thing." And you're just like, "Okay, I understand. You're gonna be fine. Don't worry." Or, for example, the opposite. Something goes well, and you're just like, "Yep, So that's a thing we do, and like singing, but I feel like that's not just artists. Me and my friend actually have a few common of these sounds. We even named them. I do this, we call it dying crow one. Quite often. My friend sometimes starts making noises like a cat, but there's this one particular, and I'm gonna have to ask her to actually put it in a voice message. I don't know how these are called, but just like so you can hear it, because it's just, I have no idea how she makes it, and she just starts doing it randomly. We call it either gremlin or a dinosaur, and like imagine you're drawing and you just hear this next to you. I love her so much. Talking about her, and I'm not sure if this is universal for all artists, but I have this sketchbook that's filled with many drawings of her sitting in these strange positions. I'm probably gonna show pictures. So I'm pretty sure that's just a quirk she does, but it's an artsy quirk, so I'm gonna put it in this video because I think it's funny. So artists do a lot of weird shit. And again, the sites are gonna be linked down below, so you can go check them out. I'm pretty sure there's thousands more of things that are weird and are done by artists. If our bags had a certain age, we all would have an 80-year-old back. Like, our backs are just broken. I think that's pretty universal. Actually, I saw this one guy. Damn, I have to find him on YouTube then later. I saw this one guy. He did this challenge where he drew hands or studied hands for like 12 hours straight. And the whole time he just had the perfect posture. I'm like, how is this? How is he doing this? What the hell? So that generally freaked me out. That guy is a special snowflake. Ignore him. Everyone else has a broken back. Anyway, have a, I don't know, creative week and just have a good day. And I hopefully did not traumatize people who are non-artists. Bye. Actually, no, I don't like bye. I like good night. Good night, go to sleep.